sometimes you're in a province,
Mm,
women sometimes will give you more choosing signals. But then a lot of times guys may struggle in like a city area. So what do
mm.
you have advice for like a guy in a city? Like,
You actually have to, say something really fast just to get her attention, you know? And if you can do that, then you can start paying attention to the little nuances that starts
mhm.
happening.
Welcome back to More to Life. Now today I got another one for you. It's really good. I'm going to get into it. But before I do, I ask that you please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to click the notification bell to ensure that you get my videos as soon as I release them. Now, I have a special guest,
What's
Mike
going on, man?
Philippines. What's going on, brother? So, what we're going to talk about today is choosing signals in the Philippines. And I think this is information a lot of guys need on how to
Mm,
talk to women here, how to, you know, be around women, how to create interest, right? And
got
Mike
it.
is expert at that. I think the man is more skilled than me because I'm more aggressive than he is. He's more suave than I am. So, guys, we got Mike here, Mike Philippines Jr. So, go ahead, Mike, take it away, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, when we start talking choosing signals, I think that a lot of men they have this notion that they come to the Philippines that women are just gonna land in their laps, right? And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of guys like just wait for because a lot of guys are just like so I guess hurt or maybe just traumatized how it is in the US, right? They can't get attention from the women that they want attention from. And then they come to the Philippines and they want that attention, but they're not going to get it because whoever you are in your country, you're going to be the same thing in another country. And
Mm-hmm.
so, definitely understanding the different types of choosing tactics or like how to know if a woman is wanting to maybe be with you. Another term to use that for that is indicators of interests as well. There's a few nuances in the Philippines that starts happening. It's very rare that you're gonna find a woman that approaches you
Come here, sexy.
that
Mm-hmm.
gives you choosing signals that is going to be a good woman. If a woman
Right.
lands in your lap in the Philippines, she chose you,
You've been bamboozled.
but she's not going to be the good type of woman that you want to be with, you know?
And it's funny because I find it's like that everywhere. If
Yeah.
women are just Google eyeing you just for no reason all the time,
Hmm.
sometimes that may not be a good thing. She's choosing you, and it may come across as feminine, but it may not be. It may be a monster. But go ahead, man. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, exactly, because that's a very masculine trait for a woman to choose you. That's a
Mhm.
masculine trait if she approaches you as a man. And especially in the Philippines, where the femininity rating of women in the Philippines is a lot higher than the typical other country, Colombia, Brazil, Thailand, of course, at the same time.
I know that sounds crazy, but it's true.
If you're just going to expect that a woman's going to give you indicators of interest in the Philippines and you're not familiar with female dynamics, not understanding about social dynamics and how people move, then you're going to have some difficulty. I mean, like some guys think that if a woman smiles at him, that's a showing as an indication that the woman likes him. In the Philippines, Filipinas smile naturally. If
Mhm.
if you go, eye contact with a Filipino, they'll smile at you because if you smile at them, they're going to smile back. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden, oh, you're in.
Thought I had.
No, you
Mhm.
need to be able to, as a man in the Philippines, whether you're a foreigner or even a local, you have to approach a Filipino. You have to do a cold approach. You actually have to, say something really fast just to get her attention, you know? And if you can do that, then you can start paying attention to the little nuances that starts
Mhm.
happening. In the
Mhm.
US, in Western countries, eye
Mhm.
contact with a woman shows that she's interested.
Mhm.
In the Philippines, her actually disengaging her eyes from you is more of a showing that she is interested in you. And the
Mhm.
reason for that is that's where the femininity starts happening, where they don't want to lock eyes with you because locking eyes is technically a masculine trait,
What are you looking at?
right? Because that's
Mhm.
how you are trying to find from each other, are we going to fight or not, right? Or are we going to get together in the West? In the Philippines, they're going to look away because they're not
Mhm.
going to remain in a full eye contact with you. And so if a Filipina looks away from you after you've given her a smile, after you looked at her, and what you're going to look for the next move that she does is she's not going to give you the resting B face. She's going to
Mhm.
look away and she's going to talk to her friends. If she looks at you for a few seconds and you're trying to approach her and you see her move to her friends and start laughing, start smiling and put her hands in her mouth like this, then right there alone, there's something that you can see. Now, just because you see one indicator of interest, that doesn't mean that she's fully interested, right? She's just allowing the openness for you to get to the next chance that you have. You then need to at least, they literally say you need to at least 3 different indicators of interests from a woman to show that really that something's going to be happening. You know, one thing really good, if you're having a conversation with a Filipina, if she literally slaps you.
I don't want to get slapped again.
Not in the face. If she taps you, if she thinks, you know, that's really funny.
Excuse me like that.
She puts her hands on you. It's not a put her hands that she's going to touch you. It's her just being playful, being bashful a little bit.
I know, like a lot of times you're in a province, women sometimes will give you more choosing signals, but then a lot of times guys may struggle in like a city area. So what do you have advice for like a guy in the city? Like, because, you know, you could be walking by a woman and they're busy, so they may not notice you. What do you suggest a guy would do? Like, how does he create that vibe when he's in the city and when he's in certain areas? Like, how would he create that vibe? How would he go around from getting a woman to like stop her day and join his day? Any suggestions for that?
Well, there's a couple moves you can do there, but the main thing you have to understand is that you should never approach a moving target.
Oh yeah, of course,
right?
of course.
So if you start looking at that, you know, an object on motion will always stay in motion, right? So typically what you want to do is, if you're in a city, you go to where typical single Filipinas are going to be at. Coffee shops is one thing. The mall's good, but I would not approach a girl. They're walking around the mall, not unless they're stopping on something, whatever. If they're walking, so let's say, for example, if a girl is, because in the Philippines, everyone's walking, right? So if a girl's walking this way, what you just need to do is walk side by side with her and then just be a little bit front, you know, go a little bit ahead of her and have that, you know, the walking thing. And then you just turn, you know, you just pretty much tilt your head to the left, look at her and say something right away. But not if she's like walking really, really fast. But I mean, in the city, there's so many things that you can do where a woman is stationary. If you go to BGC, you know, there's a lot of open area over there. You know, there's like, if they're having the farmers market set up where, you know, there's food and all that stuff. You know, one thing that I know is in the Philippines, Filipinas love food. I mean, it's about food. It's about food thing in the Philippines. So go to any food place, food parks in the Philippines, and then that's always a good place to approach a lot of women. A lot of things that men make mistakes in the Philippines, or especially foreigners, is that we're stuck in this reality of how it is in the U.S. or in the modern or the Western world, where you can't find a woman at a club. You can't find a good woman in a club, right? That's an old adage that you start hearing a lot. Well, in the Philippines, you can find a lot of good women in the clubs. Not the bad clubs that we know about that exist in the Philippines. You know, the nice bars and clubs in the Philippines are good places. And the reason why I say that is because Filipinos love this word called the gimmick. You know, gimmick is like they want to go out, they want to have some fun, and it's perfectly fine. So there's always going to be good women out there in the clubs and the bars. I choose to either, for me wise, my strength is always conversation skills.
I gotta tell you this real quick. I don't mean to cut you off, man.
Sure.
Before I left Cebu, right, I noticed when I was in the supermercado, that's where all the women, that was a food place. That's where all the women went after work. So I've seen tons of Filipinos there. Also, I was me and Kay, right? Kay, we went to the karaoke. We went to the karaoke bar, and it was I forgot the name of it. It was like a club setup, right? And they had the club music playing, but then you can get your own room. And man, Mike, when I tell you, there were groups of women together, no men, singing karaoke. It blew my mind, right, Kay? No, Kay, remember when we were in the karaoke place before we left? And there was number of groups of women, man. And it was groups of 10 women at 2 in the morning.
Was this the one in Ayala Mall?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That one.
I know.
You know. That place was lit, man. And I'm like, wow, there should be more guys here.
You guys have to, like, a lot of guys still listen to pretty much a lot of the older guys' advice. Well, those are the advice from the 70s. Right. And it's a little bit different now. It's a different situation and how it kind of goes. And so it's going to the right places. That's the thing where guys need to understand. It's like, find out the girl that you want and where would she probably be. I think one of the biggest mistakes that guys do, they're all worried about finding a girl that's going to show interest in them. They're going to try to find girls that are single. They want to know where to go. They want to know all this different things. The problem that goes on with that is if you don't have a plan or tactic on how to do what you need to do, you're going to mess up.